And guess who's on time for their live? I am. Thank you so much for your patience over the past 3 weeks since I've been away, but I've been using Instagram Live, and that's been a lot of fun to kind of incorporate that. It's also nice to get back into the flow with my clientele, with my coaching, and I wanted to tell you a little bit about it. The reason why is I have some openings in my coaching program. I take on limited clientele because this coaching program is designed to be personalized. It is a 6 week program and it is called Find Your Feel Good for Good 6 week Best of Both Worlds coaching program. What's the best of both worlds? Well, on one hand, you get one on one sessions with me, and the other hand is you get access to a full digital course. And that digital course feeds into our sessions and it brings in new exercises, new practices with regard to the work you're doing in the course and the work we do in sessions. And they go very closely together and we see really, really great results. So I wanted to share a little bit about that, let you know that I do have some openings right now and I would love to connect with you on a quick call to see if we are a good fit. I understand coaching, is really about personality and feel and vibe that you have with the individual. So if you are interested, absolutely feel free to shoot me a DM on Instagram. You're going to see all the details at the end of the presentation where you can reach me. But I wanted to tell you a little bit about it so you could kind of see what it looks like. So let's take a look. Okay, so this is the program, and you're invited. And there are 3 phases to this program: phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. Pretty simple, right? Okay, so phase 1 is looking. So in the looking phase, we're engaging curiosity to kickstart discovering you again. When we are curious, we are able to step back from ourselves to witness ourselves in a new, more flexible way. We're getting to know ourselves again. Curiosity is the key. In this phase where we are taking a new look at ourselves, perhaps with a new filter, curiosity is flexible and honest, inviting us to stay open and wonder what we want in the next chapters of our life. Curiosity is the perfect recipe for this new journey. It removes shame or duty from the process and instead emphasizes self-compassion. Curiosity is vulnerability in action, modeling resilience and courage to see ourselves clearly and to begin discovering what helps us feel good. Here, the focus is on diving into self-discovery with curiosity. We learn to just look at our behaviors, thoughts, and emotions. Here, self-awareness is expanding, and you begin to feel the spark of self-confidence and joy. This is looking. So this is a short summary of the looking phase and the work we do for about 2 weeks on looking, engaging curiosity to kickstart discovering you again. Now, leaning. The leaning phase is focused on practical strategies to move self-awareness into transformation. In other words, self-awareness into change, into actually taking action, changing behavior. Your self-awareness of looking inward has expanded. You see yourself with new clarity and feel empowered in understanding yourself better. You refuse to accept the status quo, replies, tough it out, and that's life, or some pie-in-the-sky sappiness of sun's tomorrow. Your struggles are real and painful. Your struggles matter. You matter. So now you're on the way to transformation. Time to take your new understanding and awareness into actual change. You're changing from the inside out. Here, you will build on this foundation of intention and take it into practice. Here, the focus is on applying self-care strategies and seeking safe, healthy support outside of ourselves. Here we learn to share our stories and experience the freedom it brings. This is leaning in. And last is living. So living is sustainable ways to nourishing our spiritual, emotional, and mental health for the long haul, keeping our joy. So I often describe it as looking plus leaning equals living. It's an equation, because living is really the integration of looking and leaning, because those phases are going to be always in our lives. There's always going to be times where we need new self-awareness. And there's always going to be time when we're ready to move beyond just self-awareness into actual change, actual action, making a plan, a career change, a relationship change, maybe a fitness change, health, working with family dynamics, whatever it is that you want to change. That interaction of looking, becoming curious and self-aware, then moving into transformation and action are parts of what living actually looks like. So what can I tell you a little bit more? So here's what's included. You get 12 private one-on-one sessions with me. Now, these sessions are the game changers. I'm convinced. I have looked into doing just digital courses, but I'm convinced the human element is important. And I personally love working with people one-on-one. It's magic. I just love it. You also have accountability. With Monday through Thursday office hours for me, you are able to access me for those moments when life feels particularly challenging and you need support. Also, digital content. And I'm not talking about just a freebie or a handout here and there. It is a full-scale digital course that walks you through each week. So you're not just getting support from me, you're getting support from the online course and the resources that are available to you there as well. So you get a ton for what's offered. Now, your question is, well, Heather, what does it cost? So here's the bottom line. So my coaching program costs it's $1,000. You pay it in full and you save $250 on the dot. You get 12 full coaching sessions and the digital content, as well as office hours that you can access me Monday through Thursday. The other option is to pay as you go. So I love this option for folks who like, hey, that $1,000 looks like a lot, Heather. Yeah, it is a lot of money. So you can do the pay as you go. You just make weekly payments of $208 until paid in full, and you still get all the great content. I do have flexibility also for those who have financial struggles. If you reach out to me directly, we can make some adjustments and make it work. But this is what it costs, and it is absolutely worth every penny. I have clients who are just really, really finding that joy again, that spark of confidence as they are working through the program. So now let's take a look at what we're going to talk about today. So I have another life hack presentation, interrupting our reactions. So we all have behavior, and we all have patterned ways of behaving. A common behavior is reacting, especially in hard, ouchy, challenging situations, right? We can practice responding, but first, let's break down reacting. Life is hard, right? There is stress, there's career, there's health issues with loved ones. Maybe you're caring for an elderly or aging parent. You have bills, there's constant social media, not to mention we're in the middle of a pandemic, and all of the things that go with that, the expectations of what we should be doing in our career, in our personal lives, in our fitness lives, with our parents and our families, for our kids. It is a million different ways in which life is going to show up in a challenging way, right? That's just life. But this is what happens when challenges hit. All of us have this experience because we're all wired the same way. When life's challenges hit, the brain reacts. And the brain asks one question: am I safe? And that is going to be the very, very first question that it asks. Am I safe or am I not safe? And it's very black and white, not a lot of gray. And it wants to know, am I safe? But the thing is this is the oldest part of our brain, which means it's there first. It's going to be that first initial feeling response of danger. And that danger is going to be very black and white. It's not going to be like, well, maybe it's not that big of a deal. No, this part of the brain is responding like there is a lion that's going to eat us. And it's going to send a message to the rest of our body, and our body responds, right? The brain is going to react. It's like a match that is lit. It's instantaneous. And what do we do in the meantime when our brain reacts this way? Well, there are some things we can do. There are reactions that show up in two ways, right? We can react in two different ways, generally, overreacting or underreacting. Here's some things on overreacting. Overreacting is a strong need to resolve or fix right now. It's that urgent situation of there's a problem and we need to fix it right now, right away. Another aspect is when we're overreacting, we tend to talk more. We want to talk about it, and there's a lot of emotional charge. On the inside, we have feelings of fear or anxiety or insecurity. And when we're overreacting to a situation, there's a tendency to be task focused, okay? So those of us who respond to life's challenges and we react, when we overreact, these typically tend to show up. And it may sound like we need to get this figured out right now, or we need to talk this out now, or I'm going to go crazy. Or, okay, just give me something to do, anything, right? Anything, give me something to do. That is overreacting. It's a very strong urge to do something, to get it done, to get it fixed, to talk about it, to resolve it. It's very engaged in the challenging situation. Now, on the other hand, we have folks who underreact. And with underreacting, this is what you're probably going to see. There's a strong need to withdraw or leave. You may have a tendency to, when this challenging situation arises, or if there's conflict or an emotional charge, there's a strong desire to just withdraw. Also, talking feels hard and overwhelming. Talking feels really, really difficult. On the inside, again, feelings of fear, anxiety. And there is a tendency to shut down or freeze. Now, this may look or sound like, I feel like I'm in slow motion, or I feel stuck, or I don't even know what to do next. It may sound like, I don't want to talk. I just want to get away. It may sound like, whatever you think is fine. Not wanting to be the decision maker, not really even sure what to do next. That freeze, that kind of shutdown may sound like this. This may feel familiar for you. Now, what happens when overreacting? Let's talk about it now. We got to get it done. Give me something to do. All of that. And underreacting, I want to withdraw. I don't want to talk. I feel scared. I don't know what to do. Happens in our relationships, particularly our closest ones. Romantic, best friends, parent-child, family relationships. When it shows up in our relationships, it can be a big problem, right? Danger, danger. What we want to do is understand ourselves, right? We want to be able to understand, I tend to be an overreactor, I tend to be an underreactor, and what are the ways that I can help my brain move to, am I loved? So this part of our brain is where the limbic system works, right? The limbic system and the nervous system are very impacted. It's still hard to use words, but what's happening is as we want to be able to move it from am I safe, that fear of the lion's going to eat me, to am I loved? I know there's not a lion going to eat me, but I still feel unsafe and I don't really know how to describe how I'm feeling. But am I loved? Am I valued? When life's challenges hit, that brain is going to react. The match is going to light and it's going to ask, am I safe? We want to help the brain body move to, am I loved? Okay, so how do we do that? First, I want to say that learning to recognize when you're reacting versus responding is essential. The first sets your nervous system on fire. The second serves it. You can choose. Okay, here's the suggestions. This is the life hack to help yourself move from that fear, am I safe, am I unsafe part of us, that fight or flight, to am I loved? So number one, you want to be able to tell the amygdala, the oldest part of your brain, the am I safe, match is lit, there's a lion going to eat me. You need to calm that down. So there's two things I want to mention here. For the overreactors, right? The overreactors that are hypervigilant, we want, let's talk about it right now. Let's get this done. And it's a lot of emotional charge, and it's very physical and very verbal. Overreactors, we need to learn, and that's me, by the way. We need to learn how to slow way down. Slow down. Underreactors. What underreactors can learn to do is to stay present. Don't leave the room physically. Don't leave the room emotionally. Stay present. Take a few moments to breathe, both individuals. Try to be still. This is going to be incredibly difficult for an overreactor, but try to be still. And even physically put your hand on your chest and say, I'm okay. Because what that I'm okay is saying to the part of our brain that feels like a lion's going to eat us is, hold on, we're safe, we're okay, we're not in danger, okay? And so overreactors practice slowing down, and underreactors try to stay present. Present in the situation, not withdrawing, not freezing, not shutting down, but staying present. And breath work and stillness and physically just kind of honoring yourself by recognizing I'm safe, I'm okay, can help. The second thing is tune into yourself. What am I feeling? Do I want to run away or do I want to argue? How does my body feel? So this is going to help you tune into kind of how you really react in the moment to challenging situations. So when you identify what you're feeling, it's going to help you kind of name it and get distance from it. And then if you say, hey, I just really wish I could run away, that's probably an indicator that you want to underreact. You're not comfortable with conflict. You don't want to talk about it. You're not even sure you can find words for it. For overreactors, arguing, we want to argue, we want to get into a verbal conversation when we want to resolve it right away. Understanding that overreaction, that hypervigilance, that strong pushing can feel overwhelming to people in our lives who may tend to not be as comfortable with conflict. And third, how does my body feel? I want you to really learn to tune into your body. What is your body telling you? Are you nauseous? Are you sweating? Are you really, really hot? These are things that your body's telling you to let you know how you're feeling. What you want to do is kind of get to some stability with your body so that you can tune into yourself. But this is really between you and yourself, not the person that you're trying to connect with or talk to, not the situation, not the problem. This is just you tuning in for self-awareness. And third, engage empathy, understanding the other's needs. So remember, we're talking about reacting because it usually shows up in our relationships, right? Whether it's career, work relationships, friends, family, loved ones, kids, what have you. Understanding the other's needs really kind of separates us from that sense of we're in danger and we need this fixed right now. We take the focus off ourselves and put it on someone else by engaging empathy. Now, we're not ignoring our feelings because we just handled that, right? We just tuned into ourselves. We showed up for ourselves by telling us, hey, we're okay, taking some breaths, really trying to stay present, trying to slow down. And then we tuned into how we were feeling. That was taking care of ourselves and showing up for ourselves. But now we're facing a person that we love and care for. And what can we do to learn how to see it from their perspective. Engaging empathy is a superpower. So here's a couple of examples. So for an underreactor, you can ask for what you need. And by understanding the other person's needs in your relationship, you can really kind of give a sense of, hey, I'm okay to ask for what I need. So challenging situation arises, there's a conflict, there's a problem, and the overreactor really wants to talk about it, and you are an underreactor, you know it, you're kind of aware that you want to avoid this situation, and you can simply say, I know you want to talk this out, and we will. Can you give me 5 minutes? Because that 5 minutes is going to allow you to calm your emotions down, get some clarity, because as soon as you get out of that amygdala, am I safe? Is the lion going to eat me place, to am I loved? Then things begin to change dramatically when the rest of our brain comes online. So for an overreactor, trying to understand the needs of an underreactor, a really helpful thing is acknowledging an underreactor just needs time to process, to think about it. They're just not as quick with regard to that process time. So you could simply say, I know you need a break. Take some time. I'm here when you're ready. Okay. So when empathy shows up, we feel safe, we feel loved, and we feel ready to learn. This part of our brain enables us to say, what can I learn from this? And that is when behavior is changed dramatically. So see here, you want to move from am I safe to am I loved to what can I learn from this? And that's where the real big magic happens in our relationships. But we've got to take it slowly and methodically in order to change this. And this is not going to come as easy as just talking about it, because again, these are emotionally charged situations. The result of responding is creating a safe space for everyone to be seen, heard, and valued. We all respond differently. Normalizing these behaviors is how we heal in relationship. So in normalizing, overreacting, underreacting, there's not one that's better or worse. They just are. And when we normalize it and understand, wow, we can learn how to respond to one another and meet one another's needs and understand how we all react in different situations, we can heal our relationships and ourselves. So here's some writing prompts that I'm going to talk through, and then we're going to wrap it up for today. A recent situation that felt ouchy, hard, or challenging was when my daughter got really sick. During that situation, I know I overreacted. I was really wanting to get everything fixed. I wanted to take her to the doctor immediately. I wanted to resolve it. I want it done. I didn't want to have to worry about it. I just wanted it done, fixed as soon as possible. It was very urgent. It reminded me of a time when I was in my early 20s, when I kind of had this attitude of, oh, it'll work out. And I just kind of lived my life just erratically and chaotically. And I look back on those times with some embarrassment and shame. So it reminds me of that time when I didn't have my act together. I was not very organized, and things were a bit chaotic for me on all fronts. The feelings that come up are shame and embarrassment, recalling that period of my life. What I think I needed then was discipline. Someone who would be willing to sit and talk with me about how I could change make better choices. My parents were kind of, at that time in my life, really involved in their lives and doing their things. They were divorced and remarried, and so they were focused on other things. I think it would have been beneficial for me to have a mentor or somebody I could go to for guidance who would be able to offer that. But I didn't get what I needed. So I just kind of like survived. And then when I hit, got married and had a kid, all of a sudden things turned on that I was like, oh, I need to be in control of all of this now because I feel unsafe if I'm not. I feel unsafe if things are not perfect or figured out or solved, because it reminded me of what it felt like, I think, back then. It makes sense that I did that because when you feel chaotic and out of control, it's not a nice feeling. So it makes sense that I kind of want to fix everything right now, instead of just allowing it to pass and allowing time to happen on its own. I want to rush through. I want to get it done and solved so I can feel better. And I think that is just part of my journey, where I went from a kind of a chaotic environment to a more stable environment, and I still compensated by really wanting to control every aspect of the situation. Knowing this, I may be more able to be kind to myself, recognize that I'm trying on new behavior, trying new actions. I'm learning how to slow down, but it's still hard for me to not react in that really strong way to resolve it, fix it, let's talk about it, let's handle it. And in this situation, it was emotionally charged because my daughter was very ill, and I didn't want her to hurt and suffer, and I wanted it fixed. One way I can help myself in these kinds of situations might be intentionally slowing down, maybe even pulling out writing prompts and working through it. And it's really hard when you're feeling emotionally charged to kind of stop and go and journal. But I think I can try to help myself by processing it. And I'm a verbal processor, so if I could find a journal where I could just verbally kind of process, throw it all on paper, then I get a little bit of a relief, to be able to help myself calm down, right? To help myself get to that more stable place where I'm much more open and flexible. The next time I feel myself overreacting, I can try to slow down. That's a big one. It's hard, but I can try to slow down. A benefit of trying this might be improving my relationships with my people who have experienced me with overreacting, and they tend to be underreactors. So, I can be a lot when I'm wanting to resolve something and fix something right away. I can be pushy and bossy. These are the words that they have shared with me, that it feels pushy and bossy. A benefit of trying this would be lessening that experience for them and engaging in empathy, right? Like we talked. All right, so here's all the places where you can reach me. You can see me on YouTube, Writing Real Life, and Real Life by Heather on Instagram. Again, I hope that you are able to reach out to me if you're interested in the coaching program, Best of Both Worlds, personal one-on-one sessions, and a full digital course. I hope this is something that could be helpful for you to help you find your feel good for good. I hope you have a great week, everybody. I will see you next week, and take care. See you then. Bye.